Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Happy Akshaya Tritiya. It's end of the day now. So I do hope that you are with me on Instagram in the morning and you managed to invest in something today. It is not necessary that it has to be gold. And in my book, for us, our group that is, it's Akshaya Tritiya every day. Every day we're trying to keep bettering ourselves and improving ourselves. These things which we find in all religions, in all kinds of society are milestones to help us, are markers, as I say, to help us feel motivated and to get down to doing it, to getting down to doing the business. Enough talk, more action, as I say, and that is what its the main function of this. There are, of course, main thing I would say these markers help us is to educate our children, to tell the younglings the importance of investing, not saving. So the main thing is to teach our younglings that savings is not the road to wealth. When we were younger, we were told that savings is the road to wealth, that by savings, you would have enough in life to do more. In one weird way, back then, maybe it was true when the world, in India especially, pre-1990s, we did not have avenues to invest as a middle class, lower middle class. Other than gold, even real estate was out of reach for most people because banks were not really doing home loans back then. If you go back around to the 70s and 80s, then only slowly the government started giving loans, home loans, and all these products all slowly came into what we consider mainstream. So for a lower middle class, for a very long time, savings was the only way to create wealth. Fortunately, we live in a different world now and a different time where there are multiple avenues and we have multiple options and freedom. A lot of us do feel and believe that, the world used to be better back in those days. The good old days, as they say. I think that's rubbish. I think we are living in the best of times. Yes, the news cycle doesn't show that. Yes, there's always room for improvement. But considering all things, for a person who's in the middle class, who's in the bell curve, who's in the middle, who's in the mean, or even the lower strata of society, opportunities now for you are far more than any time in history. Even in terms of justice, in terms of law, I feel we are far more fair and equal. I'm not saying we are not. There's no room for improvement. Of course, there is. Always there's room for improvement. But I do believe. And in wealth distribution, yes, we are in a K-shaped recovery. Yes, there is a huge division between the rich and poor. And that is exacerbated by the political situation the world is facing, especially in a place like in the US, you can see. And I understand that. But that said, if we take ownership of our lives and we take it a step at a time, we can truly build enough wealth to be comfortable at least. And that is the point of this day. And that is the point of our group and this channel is to help us create that kind of wealth. I hope I'm able to convince you and encourage you to invest in small ranges. I'm not talking about taking your bank, emptying your bank in the market or anything crazy like that. Even Akshaya Tritiya, the whole idea is to buy one small piece of gold, one gold ring, gold bracelet. Now the price of gold, you can't even afford that. You probably will be looking at half a gram coin if that is affordable for you. And gold prices, the way it is looking right now, are going to continue going up. There was an interesting ad which has been put out, which was floating around social media, how comparing to last year's Akshaya to this year's Akshaya, how much that is a 25% appreciation in gold or something crazy like that. And how you can't say next year how it will be. So you might as well, you cannot say this is not sustainable, this kind of price rise. Gold is not an investment class, like I've said. Because of the uncertainty in the market, it is what is the main reason that's been pushed. And that uncertainty is going to persist for the next, I would say, foreseeable future of 2 years or plus. You can see Trump, he keeps saying, I've cancelled some of the tariffs, China's making a deal with me, India is making a deal with me. But these countries are not saying anything in return, saying, yes, we're doing. So there's a lot of ambiguity and there's a lot of waiting in the US itself. You can see in the market. If you saw the American market yesterday, it was going really nowhere, waiting for some positive sign to come about, some tariff, deal which has been done, actual proof of concept, as they say, and they're still waiting on it. The market ended with the lack of that. And even now, the futures, if you see the American market futures, is hovering on that, waiting. By the time, of course, you see the video, the market will be open. And if there's no news coming out, it will be still stupidly waiting on this. As far as the American corporates are concerned, all of them which are directly dealing on B2C have been crying to the White House saying this is not sustainable. That is going to be worse than COVID, where shelves are going to start becoming empty. There, of course, their secretary coming out saying that people should have bought in advance and stocked it. That may be true for, big chains like Walmart. But small shops, I don't think they can prepare for this. Small businesses in the US can't prepare for this. So, like I was saying with Shashwat, there's an impending crisis coming. They're hoping they can avoid the crisis, that Trump will do something and roll everything back to normal, or deals will be struck so fast things will be normal. But even if it is done, the damage has already been done, because trillions of worth of dollars were sold. Of course, trillions were bought back, but people who sold aren't the ones who bought back. Even the people who sold and bought have lost money because they would have sold at a price and bought back at a price. So you must remember all this. Just looking at an index is not saying that things are okay. This is as far as the US is concerned. Now getting into Indian market, I spoke about Nova Nordis yesterday. Today I wanted to hit upon Tejas Network. A lot of you have seen correction in Tejas Network. And because the earnings was negative this quarter, the price to earnings, of course, has taken a beating. Before it was at a value buy of 23 or something. Now, after the price correction, this is the main reason the price correction happens. Because, like I said, the market feels the company or that sector has a certain PE, which is reasonable. So, 25, 24 is considered reasonable. And it's a price divided by earnings. And since the earnings has changed, the denominator has changed, the numerator also has to change accordingly to keep the same ratio. So you're seeing the downward pressure. This is temporary. Tejas is a great company. It's backed by the Tatas. They make the kind of technology which the Tata group itself needs. There'll be a lot of internal requirement for this. And I've done an extensive video, which I'll ask Rupesh to link somewhere. You can see who's running it, who's the link between TCS and the Tejas, you can see. And globally speaking, this is where the future is going. Communications is very important even for AI, autonomous transportation, autonomous networks, robotics, you name it. Communications is a central element to all this. So Tejas will do well given time. And they've come out clearly saying they've spent all that money on improving and doing R&D, which is also very critical. They have a lot of competition in the market. Nokia's, Ericsson, all the Chinese companies. So there is a stiff competition for them. So they need to spend. And I do believe this kind of spending for a small company growing and showing these kind of revenues is good. As an investor, I am heartened by it that they are keeping their mind in the right place. Instead of trying to please the investors and just show profit everywhere, they are focused on looking at 10 years, 15 years, where's the growth, how to go there, how to become 10x. So for that reason, I believe Tejas is a great buy. And that is the reason why I keep it on my radar. And every opportunity when I get, I do have different coffee on it. Today, being gold day, I had my full meal in gold. Tomorrow is a holiday, May Day, so the markets are closed. Friday, whatever comes, my opportunities, I'll definitely look at it. Maybe Natco, maybe Tata Motors, maybe Tejas, I do not know. But I'll definitely share with you, all of you, on Instagram and say what I did for the day. All I wanted to do is take this opportunity to invest. If Tejas Networks makes you nervous, don't invest. If you don't understand communications, you don't understand all of it, leave it. Find a company which you do understand. There's plenty of them. Companies simple as ITC. It's very simple, the business model. There's nothing complicated in it. You cannot tell me that you don't understand what ITC does. It's the most simplest thing which they're doing. So if you understand how a small shop, Kirana shop runs, basically ITC is that on large scale. So there are places where you can invest. Where you understand, you invest. If you don't understand, take the time to learn about it. Do not invest without knowing what you're doing. That is what is causing the anxiety, where you're reaching out to me on Instagram and everywhere saying, should you be doing this? And like I've said, in these kinds of volatile markets and on times of uncertainty, having adequate exposure to debt, which is bonds, is a good thing, because corporate bonds in this kind of environment protect your capital, meaning whatever money you put stays there, and you get some interest from it, which you can then take it and deploy it in the equity market. But all this only works, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you have a plan, you must first define what you want to do. So I have actually got a whole bunch of notes which I put together on how you can break this down to 6 months or a year and try and get to your goal, which I'll share with you guys on Instagram. So if you're there on Instagram, come and follow me there. I'll put it up on my Instagram in our TCR challenge group. But I want to do a series of videos over there where I talk about how to plan personal finance and how to invest, because this platform is mainly for stocks, shares we talk about, and most of you seem to be wanting that here. So I'll keep that here. And all my personal finance, what I wish to share in terms of how you should look at your personal finance, I'll do it on the Instagram handle and you can catch me there. And it's easier also because on every single post, you can ask me a question and I can look at the question and reply in real time. There are no bots there, thankfully, as of now at least. Trolls, I don't mind, but bots are a waste of time. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you had a wonderful day and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Tomorrow's a holiday for those of you who do have a holiday, who managed to have a break. Hope you managed to rest and recuperate and had some time to clear your thoughts before Friday is one more day and then we get another weekend. Those who have taken Friday off and enjoying a long weekend, respect to you and enjoy your long weekend and your long break, and see you back on Monday. But the rest of us will have to grind on, and we will. Thanks for being with me on Mirage today. See you tomorrow. Good night.